Hello, my name is Gigi. Today we're going to be talking about authentic relating, which is a really wonderful and powerful framework of communication and relating that takes away the masks, the social pleasing, and ideally the reactivity and assumptions that can really inform our relationships with others. In its highest form, I really believe that it has the power to positively influence not only the microcosm, how we relate to ourselves through inner dialogue, interpersonally, how we relate to other people one-on-one and in small groups, but also the macrocosm as a whole, because doing this work of learning to communicate in new ways, and we'll talk about the practices that facilitate that, it can really change how our brains work and the meaning that we make out of life. So that's why it's important. Why I made this video is because I find it so difficult to have enough mindfulness or even remember the practices, the new practices I'm wanting to bring into my communication without some kind of connection to the body. I really learn through movement, through practice, through muscle memory. That's kind of how I've been built. And why not apply that to the authentic relating practices? I find that much more useful than reading books or kind of forcing myself in the moment to like, oh, what's that practice? What's that practice? I need another element in there. And if you do know Art International, Authentic Relating, the main website for authentic relating, there's probably somatic offerings on that website. So I have a link below in the description that you can go and check that out if you like the somatic version, or if you just want to learn more. The courses are incredible, both online and in person, so I really recommend them. But yeah, this video is an opportunity to have anchors, physical anchors that we can feel in our bodies that simply remind us of the practices in the moment, but it's a little mudra sequence, so to speak, a body-based sequence that can help bring it into our body ahead of time as well. So the first practice of authentic relating is welcome everything. And I just want you to feel and imagine for a moment, how would your communication and interactions with others be different if you welcomed everything? Let's take a moment to feel that. Maybe there's an interaction you can think of that you had this morning, this afternoon, wherever you're at in your day. A relationship that's particularly tricky for you, whatever comes to mind. Imagine a relational situation. And how would that situation shift if your automatic response was to welcome everything and anything that came your way from the other person? Just get a sense of that. And of course, we can think to the opposite. What often happens in relationship, I'll speak for myself, is somebody will put something forward, and one of my first responses will be to assess it or comment on it, or possibly be oppositional, a bit of the devil's advocate, or defend myself. There's a lot of that, working on that at the moment, taking things personally. So even just that one example, I have so many other defaults that would come before I welcome everything in a social interaction. In the future, I would like to interrupt those normal reactions with a physical gesture to remind me that my intention in my body, in my brain, this new neural pathway that I'm creating, is to welcome everything. And the gesture I have works for me is this, and a little bit of a lift through the heart and the face. I welcome everything. The shoulders are back. When the shoulders come forward, there can be a sense of a protection around the heart. There's no need for protection because I welcome everything. And I can even imagine that there is like a golden buffer or a protective shield around my heart, so that the heart is already protected. My body doesn't have to be the instrument that is protecting that. And I'm also imagining an image of a breeze moving through me. So whatever the person or the situation is bringing my way, I'm welcoming it, and the breeze moves through me so it doesn't get stuck in me. I welcome everything. And I might even go, ah, not reacting to it, not trying to change or control. Ah, that's what is. That's what is. So that's my gesture for welcome everything. Feel into your own body. See if you can make little tweaks there that make it more personal for you. Welcome everything. The second practice of authentic relating is assume nothing, because it is those assumptions that are happening at a split second in my brain that make me defensive or make me go to shut down somebody's idea or want to control a situation in the first place. The assumptions are why I'm not welcoming everything already. The assumptions are why my automatic pattern is to actually censor what I welcome. And that's a whole other conversation. But let's just play with the framework. So practice 2 is assume nothing. What is my gesture for assume nothing? It might look a bit funny, but I kind of cock my head and once again I have a lift and open eyebrows, because I don't want my kind of like curiosity to look passive aggressive or to look doubtful. I speak from experience as a very sensitive person to tone and voice. My love language is, communication and words, so I'm really sensitive to them both on the positive and negative side of things. But if somebody was to look doubtfully at me when I say something, a part of me would feel unsafe or unwelcomed, as if they're not welcoming what I'm bringing forward. Whereas if somebody has eyebrows like, oh, I feel a lot more safe, as if they're receptive. So my curiosity is coming with a tone and a flavor of openness. So we've welcomed everything, and then assume nothing. Oh, and then that curiosity is more likely to birth a question like, oh, what did that feel like for you? Or what happened for you there in that moment? As opposed to making assumptions, which would be more like, oh, well, you don't have to see it that way. Look how my body language changed. I mean, you're the one making that up. Might be very different for you. I'm just bringing what comes naturally. But if I'm assuming nothing, oh, tell me more. What was that like for you? Open eyebrows. And a little bit of a cock of the head to remind my brain, I may not physically do this with someone, we'll see, but it reminds my brain that my attitude is curiosity. And I have a little curious shrug, because I don't know. I'm not assuming. All right, third practice is own your own experience. What does this mean? Owning your own experience in a verbal way often means using eye language. And what does that facilitate? It facilitates accountability, self-responsibility for our own feelings, and it moves us away from blaming other people. You make me feel this. As opposed to owning your experience, which would be, oh, I'm feeling quite anxious right now. We'll get into that in other videos in the future, or you can look at other authentic relating resources. But there's a big difference between owning our experience, this is what's happening for me, and I take responsibility for it. There are my own reasons that this is happening, as opposed to projecting our experience on other people. So that's why it's important. That's what it looks like. How can we do this in a physical gesture? For me, hands on heart, hands on belly. I'm owning my own experience, and the hands bring a sense of containment onto the body. This is me, this is where I finish, this is where I end, this is where I start, and these feelings that are occurring are happening in my vessel. So as opposed to this, archetypal gesture of blaming, which, puts the energy on someone else. It's, oh, this is my experience. There's anxiety happening here. Or, wow, there's anger in this body right now. And also the symbolism of the heart and the gut. This is where we feel a lot of our emotions. So it also feels comforting, because obviously if we're experiencing charged emotions, it can be quite distressing. So to have that personal self-soothing gesture, I find is going to be helpful for me. So I own my own experience. This is my feeling. This is my experience. I understand that it may not be this other person's experience. This is mine. Beautiful. We've got our fourth practice, which is reveal your experience. So that's obviously the relating part. When we own our own experience, it takes away the blame or the projection from other people. So it can be a solo event, owning our own experience, but of course that energetic dynamic is going to be felt elsewhere. Or it could be in relationships. So, oh, I'm owning that this is happening for me right now. But when we share that, we're revealing our experience. And it's nice to have that third practice of owning the experience nice and solid before we speak. I'm so guilty of this, of before I've even had time to know what I feel, I'm already projecting it. I'm already pointing and blaming. So the fourth practice is where we get to actually create connection by revealing what's going on for us, and that's the seed of empathy, to have an understanding, an empathetic understanding of what's going on between two or more people. So what's my gesture for this one? For me, I decided I want to have my hand over my heart and my throat, because it's connecting that heartfelt self-connection to what's about to come out of my mouth, and then just raising a hand forward. And if you've ever seen mudras or hand gestures in statues, maybe with the Buddha or Ganesh or some other deity, there's this sense of offering with the palm. And I'm not choosing to put too much importance of which hand is where, but this is me revealing my experience. Hand and throat connected, make sure those two stay connected so that I can stay in my owning of my experience, and I'm offering my experience to the other. And it's not up to them to take it and do anything with it. It's not up to them to change it, but this is my experience. And another way that we could reveal our experience is by being an open book. It's a really beautiful, simple gesture. I'm an open book. And what I love about this is that it actually reflects the offering mudra. So you're offering, you're both giving, but there's also a sense of receiving as well, and that keeps that energy nice and open. And it feels good to reveal our experience. So I personally gain a lot by just being honest, because the torture of keeping it inside or not being authentic is painful for me. So that's a nice little way that we can open our book. I'm an open book. This is my experience. So you feel for a moment which gesture feels right for you. Perhaps you're revealing your experience from your mouth, heart and throat connected. Maybe you're an open book. Maybe there's something else there for you in that fourth practice. The last practice is honor self and other, which is a beautiful reminder of our aim of authentic relating. It's to honor both ourselves and others, and to let that be a reciprocal process. It's not power over, it's power with. How can everybody be honored? How can everybody benefit? And this is how I believe authentic relating can shift the macrocosm in a positive way. But what is the gesture that I've come up with for honor self and other? Yes, it's a mudra, and I keep forgetting the name. It's Virada Mudra, which is often seen in Ganesh, in statues, or Buddhas. But really simple, left hand, little bowl in the lap, and then the right hand can be up facing to the ceiling, but the fingers pointing down. This might look a little bit more natural if my knees were crossed, but I might just have it by the side. It looks very similar to Abhaya Mudra. Abhaya Mudra is normally associated with courage or fearlessness, whereas I chose Virada Mudra because it's the boon granting mudra, the granting of wishes or bestowing of wishes. And this connects me to my ultimate desire, no matter what I'm feeling, to actually wish the other person well. I don't want to be in opposition or war with the other person. Whereas if I took that fearlessness or anything like this, it's probably going to activate more of a warrior archetype in me. Whereas when I have this mudra of bestowing blessings, reminds me of my ultimate goal in interaction with other people. To bestow blessings, boons, the best outcomes possible for everyone. You might want to try that out, see how you feel. And perhaps there's another gesture, maybe you can play around with, the hand on the heart, hand on the belly thing, or maybe there's a hug that you can do, or a holding out your hands. What feels like it evokes an embodied experience of honoring both self and other. Maybe it's hand on heart, reaching out. So play around with that for a moment. I'm bestowing my boons. And let's practice the whole body-based sequence of the authentic relating practices. Our first practice, welcome everything. Second practice, assume nothing. Third practice, own your experience. Fourth practice, reveal your experience. Fifth practice, honor self and other. First practice, welcome everything. Second practice, assume nothing. Third practice, own your experience. Fourth practice, reveal your experience. Fifth practice, honor self and other. So there you have it, an embodied mudra sequence of the authentic relating practices. I hope it was fun. I hope it was educational. If you do want to learn more about authentic relating, there is a link in the description of this video that takes you to the Art International website. I'll also put down one for the Nonviolent Communication Academy, because both of those frameworks are really connected, and the courses, the whole layout is just fantastic. I've found everything that I've done from those courses really, really amazing and helpful, and really easy to get done just in your busy life. And what else am I going to put down there? Just my website. Have a great day, guys. Thank you for joining me.